Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a very fun video, something I've been waiting to film for a whole damn year. Let's not even go there. We are going to be doing a 3 looks, 1 palette and a first impressions all in one video. So it's going to be a bit of a long one. Prepare yourselves for the Colourpop and Hocus Pocus palette, the original palette, the Gather Round Sisters palette. It's there. That is the cauldron. Gather Round Sisters got a little spooder web and a spooder up here. It's got the black flame candle. On the back here you've got all little cauldrons with all the shade names, and I do still have the box as well because the 3 sisters are on the box and I kept that because I love it, and the inside print of also, like, I just had to keep it. I do usually keep boxes for a while, but this one I'm actually keeping forever until I lose the palette or get rid of the palette, or for whatever reason I don't have the palette, then the box will be gone. So I'm going to pop up some swatches of this palette because, as I said, I'm not doing a first impression separate to this video because it has been a year. It's been out. It was limited edition. It was supposed to only be 1 round, then they put out another round because you know how popular it was. I don't know if they're going to do it again this year. Hopefully they do. That'd be really handy for everyone, and myself included, for the content. But these are the swatches and I think they're stunning. Weirdly, the shade Wench, the kind of silvery pewter shade, is like one of my favourite shades in the whole palette. The shades I use right now is like the first time I've ever used it, and I'm loving these vibes. The green in this palette goes so dark. I haven't even used the black. For how dark this look is, I haven't actually used the black. The shade Brew Potion, which has like a little asterisk beside it, so does Night of Frolic and Dead Man's Toe, are not recommended for use around the eyes. This one is kind of like a glitter shadow kind of hybrid mixed together, and then these 2 down here might stain the eyes, so that's why those are like that. This is the first look I've created, and the reason I'm doing a 3 looks on palette straight away is because I wanted to do a look inspired loosely just by the colours and the vibes of each witch. So this one, as you can probably guess, is Miss Winifred. I went really dark, really vampy, super green and beautiful, and I love her. She's very glam and I love her. And I will be doing a Mary and a Sarah. So it's very exciting. I'm going to be using, because all the colours are in here, I'm going to be using all of the colours to create the sisters. I always wanted to be Sarah. I think every girl wanted to be Sarah, and all the boys wanted Sarah. But I think I relate more to Winifred now. I sound a lot more like Winifred about the general life. So this is going to be our first look. My Instagram is going to be linked down below, as well as my TikTok, where I will post all up close eye pictures and full face pictures and weird fun transition on my TikTok as well. That's linked down below. So let's get in to look number 1, our Winifred look. Okay, so we're finally going to get into our 3 looks on palette using our gorgeous Gather Round Sisters from the Hocus Pocus and Colourpop collection. I've been holding off on this for a year, like, just, yeah, I'm so excited. This is our beautiful sisters and our colour story that we're going to work with. I'm feeling a bit of a inspiration from each sister for 3 looks, so doing Winifred first, then Mary, then Sarah, and so on. Not exactly like, I'm not going to do a makeup look to look like them, just inspired by their general colour scheme, making them all a little bit different because all the sisters are a bit different, and making them all spooky as well. So as you can guess, I'm going to play with some greens today. Greens and quite a grungy, heavy sort of eye, as usual for this time of year. My skin is on, my brows are on, my eyeshadow primer is on. It's all listed down below so you can see what I use there. So I'm just so excited. Let me get into this palette. So I want this to be quite a dark look. I don't know how much of like the black I'm going to use in the palette, but I might pull it in if I feel like I need to. But I am going to focus basically on this row right here. So with the green, the shimmery kind of khaki, and then the kind of warm brown just to blend it out. I think those are like the perfect colours to represent Winifred because she's got her orangey red hair, which is like the brown. I know there's like red in the palette, but it's not like a true red, it's more like a berry red, which is more the Mary kind of colour. And yeah, we're going to start with the first shade, which is Bewitch, which is that dark green. Oh, it's quite dark actually when it's on the brush. And this is a BH Cosmetics Lavender Luxe number 7 brush, which is a smaller blending brush in that set. And I'm just going to do quite a rounded sort of shape. I just want to keep it quite like almost like a dark circle around my eye. Ooh, that goes really dark. Okay, I'm probably not going to need the black. So I decided just to do a 3 looks on palette with this because it's been out so long. There's no point me doing first impressions now, and I just wanted to play with all the colours, and this is the kind of idea that I had, that I wanted to do a look inspired by each sister, which is quite fun. I'm just bringing that all the way through the crease, bringing it up high enough, but I am going to blend it out with the brown shade. Now if you want my initial thoughts on the palette, like this is technically my first time using the shadows in the palette. My thoughts on the colour story overall is I love it, but I would maybe cut out 2 shades, maybe 3, and add in 1 extra. So I would take away the shade Full Moon, which is that kind of light pale shade that's the same colour as my skin. Don't use those kind of colours. I would probably take out either Coven or Come Little Children, one of those, because they look very similar. Probably Come Little Children, but I'd name Coven Come Little Children because you have to have that line in the palette. It's just a given. And I would probably add another green, maybe an orange, like a proper orange shade. And yeah, I think that's all I would really add in. So maybe I wouldn't take anything out. I would just substitute it for the colours that I prefer in it. I just feel like, see how dark this green is? I could have done with another, like, a lighter kind of green, like a khaki green, just to sort of blend this one out so it still keeps the green look. But I can see why it's this kind of dark, because a lot of people would use this in a neutral sort of way. I'm going to work on the lower lash line separate because I want to like smudge out pencil and all that kind of stuff with that, because I want it to be quite heavy. Okay, so I've gotten the shape that I wanted. I've not really blended, but it's not like a super patchy edge on the edge because I don't want to have to blend too much with the orangey brown. I want to kind of just use it as another colour to blend from the green, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, I don't know. This is just how my brain works, don't ask. So now I'm gonna take on Toast, which is this one here. I just love the names because I love the quotes. So I'm taking that kind of orangey brown, the shade on Toast, and I'm just gonna start kind of fluffing around the edges. This is gonna go up quite high because I do want to still see all the green. I just want the haze of this colour around the edges. I feel like with a lot of these looks I'm gonna do this where I bring it all the way in here. Taking my brush that I use with the green, and I'm not taking any more green. I'm just making sure that my blend is beautiful as Winifred. I really don't think I'm going to be using that black a whole lot because that's super dark green and I really like it. Okay, so now we're going to take my NYX glitter primer. I'm going to put my shimmer on the lid. This is actually going to be quite a quick look. It's not really a huge amount of detail to this look, apart from little details I'm going to add in a minute with like glitter and things like that, but not a huge amount of like technical stuff. I'm just taking that on the flat brush from that lavender look set. It's a number 9. I'm just pressing that all over the lid. I'm not worried about cut creasiness or anything like that because we probably will do a cut crease at some point. Okay, so shimmer on the lid. We're going to take the shade Yabos, which is this gorgeous kind of olivey gold sort of shade, which I think will be so pretty with this look. Very autumnal. A great way to add a bit of colour in if you don't really like or are used to a lot of colour. So picking that up on the same brush, I just wiped a little bit of the excess glitter primer off, and we're just going to pop this on the lid. Oh, that's really pretty. Has a little bit of a darker base to it as well, so great for this kind of look where I want it to be a little bit dark, although it's still bright because it's a shimmer. It has a bit of a depth to it. And again, not worried about anything too cut creasy. I just want to get it on to where I applied the glitter primer. Yep, stunning. I'm so happy with how this has turned out so far. Gonna go back in with the shade Bewitched and take that on the same brush I used with that before, and I'm just going to dabble that around the edges. You know the drill, just to get a nice blend going. Okay, so for the lower lash line, I am going to go heavy. We're going to go nice and dark, and we're going to use a black liner first, smudge that out with the dark green, and then probably the like warm brown shade. So I'm just taking my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On eye pencil in the shade 0, which is black. You can see I'm very well used of this, and I'm just going to take that along my waterline. If I want a super heavy kind of grungy look, I always do the liner before I do the shadow because I can blend the liner into the shadow then. It just gives a much heavier grungy kind of look as opposed to doing the shadow and then putting the liner on top. Like dark eyeshadow is not that grungy. It's the kind of messy vibe off it is what makes it grungy. Like as much as I don't condone it, but that slept in makeup kind of look, that's the kind of vibe. Okay, so then I'm gonna go back in my lavender look set and take a number 10 brush, which is just a little pencil brush. And just before I start blending with shadow, I'm just gonna soften out that and make sure the pencil is in between all of the lashes, so there's no gaps. Especially when you're super pale like me, you'll definitely see the skin if you don't cover it, so I just like to go in and make sure it's all nice and covered. And you can re-intensify the black pencil if you want to, if you kind of smudge it down too much and you lose it on the waterline before it sets. Okay, so we're going back in with Bewitched, the dark green, on the same brush as well, and we're just going to use that now and go over that pencil. So it'll just deepen, although it's a super dark green anyway, it'll just give us a little bit more depth right where I want it to be dark, and then when it fades out it'll go more green again. So we've applied that. I'm just going to take this, it's like a big fluffy flat brush. It's actually a Harry Potter inspired brush. I think I've showed this before, but I got it in Primark. It's just a big fluffy flap kind of brush. I'm going to take that same shade Bewitched and just use this now to really go along that edge and fluff out the edge a bit more. As I said, I want to blend it down quite far. Okay, I'm actually not sure if I'm going to use the kind of on Toast shade, the warmer brown on the bottom, because I kind of like how green it is down here and it's a bit more warm up here. Kind of gives a little bit of difference between the two. So I'm going to leave it at this and we'll do a bit of inner corner highlight. I'm so happy I didn't have to use the black. I'm happy I just used the green. It's this dark. This is beautiful. So I'm going to go in with the shade Wench, which is this kind of silvery pewter kind of shade. I'm taking that on a number 6 brush from that same set, which is the skinniest fluffy brush. Just taking a little bit of this and I'm just going to have a nice diffused inner corner in here. Let's give a nice bit of a shine. I love a shiny inner corner. Okay, so that is our Winifred look so far. I'm in love. We know I love a dark eye. We know I love autumnal tones and I love greens. So I mean, this is just ideal. And I'm probably going to put my black lip on or a dark lip of some sort, just to make it all the vibe and witchy and beautiful. So I'm going to jump off. I'm going to finish off the rest of my face and I'll let you know what I used when I come back. Okay guys, this is how I finish off look number 1. I didn't actually add any glitter because I kind of loved how just like dark my eyes look with the dark lip, and it's just all just dark. Dark. So that's the kind of vibe I went for. Obviously, if you want to be a bit more authentic to Winifred, you could do a red lip, but I want to save a red lip for one of the other sisters to kind of go with that look a little bit more. I just thought, like, I have done a video with my dark lip this year, but I haven't actually worn my dark lip this year yet because that video was last year's video. They can get uploaded. It's been a while. She's been sitting in the drawer for a while. So let me go through everything that I used on my face. So to finish the eyes off, you see me do my waterline, which was the black liner. So then it's just my Soap and Glory Thick and Fast mascara on my top and bottom lashes. And then I use my Cash Beauty Luxury Faux Mink lashes. These are the Secret Treasure set of lashes, the kind of smaller set here, and I use shade Style Rich, and I actually think I'm going to use each one of these for each sister. So these ones are like super dense right in the root to give you a real dark heavy kind of look to the eye, and like really feathery along the edges. Then we've got kind of longer ones and more winged out ones, which I think will go with the other looks a little bit more. So that'll be fun if I get to use one little set as each sister. Onto cheeks then. For my contour and bronzer, I use my Juvia's Place Bronze Duo in the shade Light, and I use the lightest shade up here because I am a pale bitch, so use that. Then for blusher, I just wanted to add a bit of colour, and I use one of my favourite blushes in my whole collection. This is my Clinique Cheek Pop Blush Pop in the shade Melon Pop. Very springy, very not autumnal, but I just thought it would look nice with this and just to give a bit of colour. And then for highlight, I kind of wanted this like kind of green orange, almost like the Black Flame Candle kind of vibe to it. This is my Space Age highlighter in the shade Prophecy, which is this one. It's like a multi-chrome highlighter. It goes from a orange to like a pink to a green to like something else. It's just so pretty and really wet looking. I love it. And then for my lip liner, I don't always do a lip liner when I do a black, but I do have a black lip liner, specifically lip liner, so I wanted to use it. This is the Kiko Milano Creamy Color Comfort Lip Liner in the shade 325, just a black. My friend got it for me for my birthday one year because she knows what I'm like with my black lip. And then for my black lip, I went in with my Black Moon Cosmetics black liquid lipstick in the shade Sleepwalker. I don't know if this, I think this is the second time I've ever worn this specific brand of black, but yeah, I really like it. So that is our first look of this video using the Gather Around Sisters palette, and this is our Winifred inspired look. I'm loving her. She's beautiful. I cannot wait to take the photos and take all my little extra bit of content for my Instagram on my phone. I can't wait. So this is the palette and we're going to get into look number 2, and I think the next one is going to be Mary. Okay, so let's get on to look number 2 using the beautiful Gather Round Sisters palette, and today we're going to be doing Mary, in case you can't guess by the outfit. I know I don't look like her. I'm not trying to look like her. These are just going to be colours inspired by her. So I'm feeling a bit of a halo vibe, quite heavy. I'm going out tonight, so I kind of want to add something quite heavy and grungy, and I want to use these kind of two more ready. They're a bit more burgundy than red, but you know, they're in that family. I'll probably use a little bit of the black depending on how dark this is, but if it's anything like the green we used in the first look, it's going to be very dark and I might not need to use the black. And I think I'm going to do this glitter on the centre of the lid and probably the inner corner as well, just for something a bit, you know, odd. My skin is on, my brows is on, my eyeshadow primer I'm going to pop on in a second, but my cheeks are done because I am in a bit of a hurry, and it's all going to be listed down below, and I'll let you know what I use at the end as well. So let's get straight in. Okay, so we're primed and we're going to get straight in. So we're going to take the shade Night of Frolic, which is that dark burgundy red sort of shade, and I'm taking that on a very stained 221S from MAC. I'm kind of hoping this burgundy kind of counteracts the greeny blue colour that's already stained on it. So I'm going to pop this on the outer corner to start with. Oh, there's a good bit of pink in that. It's definitely more of a berry as opposed to a red. And just building that up little by little so I don't get too much fallout, because there was a bit of fallout in the last look, but nothing that can't be managed. But I'm going to take a little bit more of that same colour, tap it off, and I'm going to pop that on this inner part in here. I've also brought it up kind of high on the inner part in here just because why not? So I'm going to take the shade Hello Salem from the song in the movie, and I'm going to take that on a number 5 brush from the BH Cosmetics Rose Gold set, the big fluffy brush. We're going to use this now to blend out the edges of that burgundy shade. It's a little bit more neutral, but I think it might knock back the pink a little bit, which I don't really mind. So just using this now to really blow out those edges, get a nice blend going. Taking some as well and going in here with a little bit of that to blend it out. Now I might intensify this bit in here because I do want this to be nice and dark and heavy, but just for now I want to get a nice gradient going. Never mind, it stayed quite pink, but that's fine. I'm also taking a little bit of that neutral shade and kind of actually bringing it down into my nose. I've done my bronzer like on my nose and everything like that, but I'm just bringing that down just to, you know, why not? And yes, I am going out like this. Okay, so now I feel like I need to add a bit more of that burgundy. I kind of would have liked if it was like more true dark red, but it's actually more burgundy and a bit more berry tone. So I'm just taking a little bit more of that just to really deepen this up. Probably will add a bit of the black in just like to really darken it, but I'm quite liking the colour so far. Okay, so before I do the lower lash or anything like that, I'm going to take that same burgundy again, and I'm taking that on a numbers 10 brush from that same rose gold set, and I'm going to just smoke out my whole lower lash with this, just going the whole way across the eye and making it super dark and thick as well. Now going back in with Hello Salem, the neutral on the big fluffy brush, and I just want to blend out the edge of that lower lash, kind of like what we did up top. I don't mind how messy this goes either, that's why I'm using the big brush, because why not? Okay, it's making my whole under eye pink. I will have to go in with a bit more concealer. And then just going back in and re-intensifying that again. So I'm just going to take a really small little pencil brush like this. This is a number 7 smoky eye brush, and we're going to go into, I call it a bus. And it's that black, it's a sequin shadow, so it's like a matte with sparkle in it. It would just make sense if it was a matte, but sure, look, what can we do? I didn't make the palette. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just dabble that along that outer corner here. It's not the blackest black in the world, but it'll do the job. And then the same in here. I'm not bringing it out too far because I still want to be able to see all these gorgeous burgundy shades. Just enough to kind of darken it. Then taking a little bit on the tip, and we're just going to run that along the lower lash. Then just taking my 221 that I used first and just blend that out a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to take some glitter primer, my NYX one, as per usual. And I'm going to take a little brush like this. This is just a flat brush. I have no name on it. There's nothing on it, it's just a flat brush. Your finger will do the job as well, but I want to use a little brush for this just to be a bit more precise, and I want to make sure I've got a bit of control over this. So this is just going to go on that middle part of the eye. That was a bit too much, but that's fine. So with the glitter primer, I like to kind of focus it in those areas that I want it to be the most intense, so like the very center of the lid, and then I'll work it outwards the same way I would with my shadows, because if you put too much on in an area you don't want it, all the glitter will just stick to that one area. Okay, so now I'm going to take Tis Firm, which is this one here. It's just like a shimmery rusty sort of shade, which I think will be beautiful. So this is going to go on this bit right here, kind of just like the width of the brush almost, right next to that dark shade on the inside, and then the same just out here right next to the dark shade on the outer side. I'm just leaving a little bit in the middle. And then once I have that on in the little gap in the middle, I'm going to take Brew Potion, which is this like almost a pressed glitter but still a bit of a shadow kind of feel to it. So I'm just picking this up on a small brush. This is from Sleek, there's no name on it, I just know it's from Sleek, and just picking a little bit of that up on the brush. So it's definitely going to be chunkier than a glittery shadow, but smoother than a pressed glitter. It's weird, I know, but I just want this down the middle for a little extra sparkle. Just taking a little bit on my finger now just because I feel like this will be a little bit easier to press it on. Because it has kind of like a shadow base to it, it actually blends out a little bit easier, but it's still like a glitter, like it still looks like a full-on glitter. I don't really want this for a little flash in the middle anyway, so just I will blend over it a little bit. Taking a little bit more of Tis Firm, the kind of rusty shade that we use, and I'm just going to go in and over the edge of that gold just to blend into it a little bit. Okay, and then lastly we're going to take the same Brew Potion, the same gold glitter, and that's just going to be my inner corner highlight. Kind of like as well, because of me blending that shade down the side of my nose, it's giving a little bit of like a purpley base on the inner corner as well, which I think is cool. So I'm going to finish that step on the other eye. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to finish off my eyes, do a lip, probably a dark lip, because that's the vibe I'm going with right now, and I am going out on a night out. It's my usual vibe. So I'm going to jump off. I am going to do all that and I'll come back and let you know what I use on the rest of my face. Okay guys, so this is how I finish off the look. I'm in love with this look. This is so cute. Like, oh, I'm so excited to go out now and I cannot wait to wear this look. I think it's so beautiful. I'm in love. And I didn't actually use any concealer under the eyes. I just kind of tapped over with my foundation brush. I kind of like the pinky tinge under the eyes for that tired sort of look, which I love. So let me go through everything that I used on my face. So to finish the eyes off, super simple, I use my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Crave, which is like a really, really dark brown burgundy kind of colour. It's almost black, but it blends in really well with that lower lash line. Then I use my Soap and Glory Thick and Fast mascara just to do my lashes before my lashes actually went on. And then for my lashes, how many times have I said lashes? I went in with my Cash Beauty Secret Treasure lashes. These are daggers, that's what these ones are called. So they're just super long, they're so long and really just wispy, and they're kind of more rounded sort of shape to the eye. So beautiful though. Then onto cheeks, my bronzer that I had on. I had my cheeks done already before I started. So this is my Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun Kiss Glow Bronzer in the shade Fair. The pale one, the lightest one, that's what I used to bronze up my face. Then for blush, I went in with my MAC Mineralized blush in the shade Like Me Love Me, just a nice kind of peachy blush. And then for highlight, Old Reliable and very dirty, should have cleaned this, I went in with my Double Gleam highlighter from MAC as well, just to give me that nice glossy kind of look to the skin. And then finally onto lip, I went in with my LA Splash Classic Horror Liquid Lip Shade in the shade Drac, which just, it's after Dracula, but it's super, super dark, kind of like this colour right here. That's what I was trying to match to. And yeah, I'm loving it. I'm feeling so witchy right now. Okay, so that was our Mary inspired look. That is look number 2, using our gorgeous Gather Round Sisters from Colourpop and Hocus Pocus. Oh, I'm so happy I'm using this palette finally. Cannot wait to get into look number 3. We're going to do Sarah. We're going to do some more purpley sort of tones, maybe big winged liner, something like that. I'm feeling very flirty with that one. So let's just jump into it. Let's just get into look number 3. Hello. We are going to get into look number 3, which is going to be our Sarah Sanderson look. We are going to get into the purples. We used the reds, we've used the greens. I'm going to use these purples here. I want to use a little bit more of Wench because it's kind of like the colour in the palette that attracts me the most. I might use a little bit of black. I'm toying with the idea of using this, but I don't really think I will. I'm probably just going to do these 4 for now and maybe a bit of this on my brow bone just to see what it looks like. We're probably going to do like a proper half cut crease with like fully cutting out the crease with a concealer or eye base and a winged liner. I have a bit of glitter picked out, which I'll see what I decide to use. We're just gonna have some fun with it, but I do want quite a sexy kind of feline sort of eye because she is the flirt of the group, so we want that kind of vibe. So my skin is on, my brows are on, and I've also got my cheeks done and my eyeshadow primer as well, which will all be listed down below, but I'll go through my cheeks towards the end as well. So let's jump right in. So to start, we're going to use Dead Man's Toe, and we're going to take that on the outer corner, and this is going to be on a defined crease brush from Makeup Geek. So just popping this out here, I want to see how dark this goes because the dark red went dark, but not as dark as I would have liked. It doesn't go as dark as what it looks in the pan. So I want to see if I need to do anything with this, and if so, I'll use the black. So I'm kind of pulling this out to a wingy sort of shape to emphasize the shape that we're going to do in a while. And I'm going to bring this right the way through the crease because I want to really define that inner part. So when I cut the crease, you can see the difference. Okay, so while I'm at it with that colour, I'm just going to take a 214 from MAC with that same shade, and we're going to just pop that along my lower lash, connecting to the outer corner. But I'm only going to bring this about a little over halfway across, because I want to put a silver on the inner part of the eye. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take just a clean brush. I'm not going to apply any shadow unless I need to. I might use Hello Salem, which is that kind of peachy shade, but I kind of want to see how this blends on its own. And this is a BH Cosmetics Rose Gold number 6 brush, which is their big fluffy brush. I don't know if it's the biggest one. Can't find my biggest one, but this one anyway will do. And we're just going to go around and start blending out the edge of that. And if we start to lose any of this colour, I'll just reapply a little bit. But just around the whole edge, I want to keep that purple tone. So blending out all the edges, including the bottom, and I might blend this a little bit more after, but just to get it started so I can see the look come together, and I can reapply it then if I need to as well. And if your clean brush starts to pick up too much product, just wipe it off on a bit of tissue, bit of towel. I've got one of those little colour switcher things. So I'll use that if I feel like I'm not getting a clean blend the way I did on the first eye. So I'm just going to do a little bit more with that same shade and just re-intensify the colour just around. Okay, so now I'm just going to clean off that defined crease brush, just because this is the size brush I want for the black as well. I'm going to add a little bit of black towards the outer parts just to add a bit more depth to the look. So we're going to take, I call it a bus, which, as I said in my other looks, it's a black with kind of different coloured sparkles in it. You don't really see the sparkles too much on the eye, it's mostly just matte. So really tapping that off. This brush picks up a lot of product, so I'm just going to take a tiny little bit and just run that in to the outer corner. Flick it out slightly in the same direction so it just emulates what we just did, but I don't want it to go out that far, and I'm just going to rock this through, so whatever's left on my brush just through the crease to give a bit more depth. And then if you need to, you can go back in and like reblend your purple just wherever you kind of feel like you need to. I don't think I need to too much, but I can right here, just using my clean brush. Then taking my 214, which I also wiped off, taking that same black, and we are going to work that onto the lashes on my lower lash, just in as far as where the purple ends. We're kind of going to taper off as we get further in. Okay, so to do my half cut crease, I would normally use a glitter primer, but I want to actually get a proper cut crease with this. So I'm going to take my P. Louise base in the shade 0.5, which is very light. Like, even like I'm pale, this is still a little bit too light for me, so I don't really use it as a base. I'm not a fan of these as eyeshadow primers because they just don't last for me. Some people swear by them, I just can't get them to last. I don't know if I've got really oily eyelids, but then the Kaleidos one works okay on me. But I'm taking that on a Cash Beauty K09 brush and just whacking that on to the eye, just to get a nice even spread first, but you can see how pale that is, wow. And then just as we start getting into the crease, I'm gonna add a bit of pressure and just start carving that out. I'm going up just a little bit higher than my natural crease as I normally do, to give me more of, or less, to give me less transfer basically. Now I don't mind the base turning a bit purple the way it is now, because I am going to go over with purples. This is just to get a difference between the textures and the depth. Okay, so we're going to move on to a little bit of shimmer. We're going to use the purple shimmer. It's Thackeray Binks. Now to me, Thackeray Binks should have been the black shade. Does that not make sense? And call this one, I call it a bus. But I've just cleaned off that little brush of all the P. Louise base, and I am gonna just apply with that brush as well. And we're just gonna whack this on the middle part of the crease. Not the crease, the lid. Just before I go into the inner part with the shimmer, I'm gonna take my defined crease brush again. I'm not gonna clean off the black from it. I don't really mind the black being there on it, but I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of Dead Man's Toe and just pop that on this outer part just to blend into that shimmer. The reason why I don't mind the black being there is because the black is already out here anyway, so it makes no difference. So just wiping that brush off again, we're going to go into Wench, which is this kind of silvery pewter sort of shade, and that is going to go on that inner little part where we haven't applied anything. So just on the inner part, and then making sure it gets right up to that line. It's not like my most blinding silver in my whole collection, but I don't think it's supposed to be. I think it's more of a pewter, more like a real antique looking silver. And then just start overlapping that with the purple. I'm going to go back in with a little bit more purple and overlap that with the silver, and back and forth until I'm happy with the blend. And with that same brush, I'm going to take the same Wench shade and we're going to pop this on the inner part in here. Right, so inner corner highlight is going to be the same as what we put just down. This is Wench again, and we're going to pop that on a 219 brush from MAC, just a little pencil brush. And just get that on the inner corner and blend it into where we've already applied the colour. Okay, so just for a little interesting extra, I got this recently and I'm slightly obsessed with it. I haven't even worn it yet, but I've been swatching it constantly. This is the Beauty Bay liquid eyeshadow in the shade Moonstone. And let me see if I can show you how sparkly this is. You see how sparkly that is? Like, oh my god. And I just bought it on a whim. I was buying something else from Beauty Bay and I was like, oh, that looks pretty. So pop it in, and my god, is this sparkly. And I'm going to take a little pointed liner brush and pick some of that up. And I'm going to draw this along the cut crease. Just because I feel like I think it'll go with this as well. This is a 210 brush from MAC. Bear with me here, I'm going to go really quiet for a second. It's not my most perfect, but it'll do. I'm kind of happy with that. I don't want to mess with it anymore in case I ruin it now. Okay, so I've decided as well that I want to take a little bit of this purple just slightly down the inner part of my nose, because I know that Sarah in the movie has quite a dark inner brow area here. So I'm kind of pulling from the brow down. Just a little bit of purple just to add more of a kind of a shadowed effect. Okay, so I think I am done with all the shadow on those bits. I'm going to jump off. I am going to do my liner, lashes, and a lip, and my face highlight as well, and I will show you what I use when I come back. Okay guys, so this is how I have finished off the look. Have I got lipstick on my teeth? Probably, because I've got a gloss on, but your look, we move on, just ignore it if it's there. So on the eyes, I just went in with my Inglot AMC gel liner, which I haven't used in so long, in 77, which is the black. I just use my Duraline to reactivate it because it's kind of dried up a little bit on me, but the Duraline is great for that, and this does not budge. Oh my god, this, if you need a gel liner, that's the one to go for. It does not budge. Then on my waterline, and I also actually like brought my liner all the way into a point here, so it's like a real feline kind of eye. My waterline I brought all the way in to meet it as well. This is the Colourpop cream gel liner in the shade Swerve, which is just their black. Then I have my Soap & Glory Thick and Fast mascara on my top and bottom lashes. And then for my lashes, I'm not going to pick up the box because it's got glue on it from me actually applying the lashes, but it's the Cash Beauty Secret Treasure lash set with the 3 in it, and these are the Elsie lashes. So they're really dramatic, way more than I normally tend to go for. But I wanted to use all 3 lashes in this for each sister. I don't know why, I just kind of wanted to do that. But also, because they're so spiky and weird and just very wingy, I thought they'd really add a lot of drama to the look, and I actually really like them on. But I'd never usually go for a lash like this. On cheeks then, my contour slash bronzer is my MAC Mineralized blush in the shade Humor Me, which is just like a cool tone, slightly pinky toned. Then onto blusher, I use my Benefit Bella Bamba blush, which is just like a nice kind of pink to go with the tones on the eyes. And then for highlighter, which I didn't have on in the video but I added on after, this is the KVD Beauty Metal Crush Extreme Highlighter in the shade Rose Shock, which is just like a pinky purple sort of tone, which I thought would go really well with the colours on the eye. And then lips, simple enough, I went in with my LA Splash Classic Horror Liquid Lipstick in the shade Drac, which is the really dark plummy berry kind of shade. It's almost black but not quite. And then over top of it, I went in with this MAC lip gloss in the shade Roll in the Chalet, which is just like a sparkly pinky red, and I popped that on top so it just gives a berry sort of tone to it but a shine. And I didn't bring it all the way out to the edge, it's just really in the center to kind of give a bit of an ombre as well. So that is it for our video with the 3 looks, 1 palette, using the Hocus Pocus Gather Round Sisters palette. I'm so happy I finally got to use this. I've been waiting for a year to use this, a whole last year, I know, and I love it. And actually I'm really happy I did the idea of doing like a Sarah, Winifred, Mary kind of idea with this. But yeah, I'm actually really loving this palette. Some people were like maybe a little bit disappointed with that. I'm not. I'm actually really happy, and I'll definitely be busting this out more in October, not probably this year, but like future Halloween spooky seasons, do get ready with me with it and stuff like that. I'm very happy with the palette. So I want to know down in the comments below, what was your favorite look? Who is your favorite sister, even just from the movies, never mind the looks I've done? Who's your favorite sister? I'm very much a Winifred, really am a Winifred. I always wanted to be Sarah, but I'm such a Winifred, I don't like people. So I'm so hurt, especially as I get older, I'm even more like her now. So yeah. And which was your favorite look as well? What was your favorite look from this video? I don't know. I like them all. I can't pick, so I need you to pick for me. If you did like this video, then give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support, get me around to more people, and also let me know that you like the video, and I will continue to do many more. Also hit subscribe down below to see more from spooky season. We've got a whole month of videos going up, not every single day, every other day hopefully, but so many videos are going up, and I'm so happy to have all my spooky content going up and all my spooky clothes. Look at the sleeves on this. This is from Shein. Look at this. I'm such a witch right now. Oh my god, look at this. I'm so happy. And as I said in the beginning, my Instagram is linked down below, as well as my TikTok. On my TikTok I post all fun weird transitions, and then on my Instagram I post all the pictures of all the looks, all up close eye pictures and full face pictures of each individual look that you will see this month, and especially in this video as well. They will all be posted on my Instagram, so go follow that down below. And I think that is everything from me, guys, so I will see you in the next video. Bye.